I'm a beast, got jungle fever. Don't smoke, but a breakdown. The Chiba. Feel my senorita, you should meet her. Buenos dias, clean cut, bitch impressed with stock beamers. I'm on property, dual citizen with the visa. My niggas Ninja Turtles, call me Tracy Sensei. Knock him, mold me a nigga, get out.
Hey, what's up with you guys? This is Bella Martrice, your ghost with the most. I'm your host. I'm here at Ghetto Poet Podcast Radio, and we're in the windy city of San Francisco and got cold outside. But I have a special surprise for you guys. We have born and raised spoken word artist and performer Papi Grande. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Okay.
So who are you?
Well, very simply, I am a spoken word artist. I am a poet. I'm a dancer. I'm a teacher. I am an explorer of life. I met somebody around the Lake Merritt, because we're from Oakland. And they were like, they said, you are a judge of life, and your job is to go around and judge life as you see. And I'm like, is that what we do with poetry? We're judging life and just saying what we see with it, like throughout life in our own words. And then I met a karate teacher that I used to have through my cousin, and he was like totally unrelated, but he was like, yeah, I'm gonna give you this word, poetize. And I was like, dang, I don't know. I didn't even tell him I did poetry at that time. He just like, poetize. I was like, wow. So I'm great, and I am a lot of things. We'll probably get into a few of those.
Right. I know I'm actually a poet. I met you in Berkeley.
Yep, at the Black Repertory Theater.
Absolutely. And we were at, what's his name? What's his
Epitomes.
show? Epitome show or whatever.
Yeah,
he has an open mic. And so you're an open mic artist too. I feel like there's are you a slam artist?
I am
and
a slam
open
artist.
mic? Oh,
yes,
that's interesting.
Yes.
Could you tell people what slam poetry is?
Yeah, slam poetry is poetry within the time frames of usually 3 minutes to 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Grace period of 10 seconds. And in that time, you are communicating with your audience, either showing them something, getting them to understand something, and just being yourself on stage. That's how I do it. It's a great experience. And for those who have not been to a poetry slam, I would definitely recommend it. San Jose has a slam that's online. Berkeley has a poetry slam every Wednesday, 8:30 to around 10:30. And yeah, they produce great artists like myself.
See, people don't know that. So poetry slam is actually a competition.
Yes.
Are those places also with Poetry Slam Incorporated?
Ooh, I'm not sure. I know for Poetry Slam, it began as like a bar game. People in bars drinking, and there's poets up there, and you got judges, and they've been drinking. They've been drinking, so it's literally people in a bar drinking, listening to poetry. And so for the poet, these are just drunk people in a bar. And for the judges, don't listen to the audience. They are just drunk people in a bar. So, have fun. Do you?
That's a really courageous thing to say. Because I remember my first poetry slam, it was at the Starry Plow. Mm-hmm. But the thing is that I'm an open mic artist. I came into poetry in open mics.
Yeah.
So that's a whole different atmosphere. So therefore, I'm like, wait a minute. They was like, yeah, come with us. Rest in peace, Lynn. She was the person that introduced me to, slam poetry. Yeah. And she's like, yeah, we're going to go to this poetry reading. She didn't really break it down.
Yeah, we don't.
So I go to this poetry slam, and I'm like, wait a minute. They're going to judge me? Like, they're going to give me a score?
Yeah, but that don't really matter.
No, it didn't. But at the same time, that's more
it's
pressure.
Like, whoa,
because being an open mic artist is hella different. How did you start poetry?
Oof. Well, my sister just brought this back up. My sister is in contact with our middle school teacher. Mm-hmm. In middle school, I was in 7th grade. I was introduced to poetry through school, which is crazy because when does school teach us anything? But, the poetry unit, we made 7 poems. And I remember I had this girl that I had a crush on. And I used her name and turned it into the lettering number system for the alphabet. Mm-hmm. 1 is A, stuff like that. And I ended up doing a poem that I wrote for her in the front of my class. She was in my class. It was cool. And when I did the poem, at the same time, all the girls went, "Aw." And that was my introduction to poetry when I knew I had it. So since then, I've just been writing. I was on it. I was off it, but I got back into it in college. College, I got a laptop, started recording myself. I remember in freshman year, I went to the open mic that they had. I did a poem that I just made on the spot. It was great. Still got that. Ooh, excuse me. Still have that video in my phone. And when I got out of college, first thing I went to Poetry Slam. My first introduction to slam poetry was at the Berkeley Poetry Slam as
Oh
well.
wow. Okay, that's so
Yeah.
dope. And damn, so you started off as a slam poet.
Yeah.
So what right now? What are you doing right now? Because I know that one thing people don't realize that when you are a performer, a poet, you are also a performer. And I know some
Yes.
of the most of like some of my favorite poets, like O2.
Uh-huh.
You know, he hosts clap,
Yeah. Snap, claps, and daps.
boom.
Yeah.
It was like that was a performance. I'm like, oh my god, and that forever, stayed in my mind or whatever. So I don't know why I just got shy, but people don't understand that you're also a performer when you're a poet.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Because you said you were a lot of things. What do you think like makes your poetry the strongest as a performer? Because you said you're also a dancer, but that's not really
Yes.
like I don't know. Like, how do you incorporate all those things into your poetry, or how do they
Intermingle.
inter? Thank you.
So I began on stage through dance.
Okay.
Like I said, I was introduced to poetry in 7th grade, but in 6th grade, I was introduced to dance, hip hop, by my mentor Nicole Basquine at Roosevelt Middle School, real Oakland baby. Um, you know, being a kid, getting in trouble after school, and I had to sit in one of these dance classes, and I remember me and two of my friends, we were in trouble in the auditorium. They were on stage dancing, the dance team, and instead of just sitting down, we were like mimicking them on stage. So once the kids on stage told Nicole about it, she was like, "Oh yeah, if y'all want to dance, somebody get on stage." And my two friends was like, "Nah," and I got on stage and I was doing what they were doing. And from then, I was just into dance. I did it for the rest of middle school, and because dance was my first introduction to being on the stage, I felt like it was easy to integrate because I was so used to being creative with my body and just always moving. So now when I'm on stage and I'm doing poetry, it's easy to say what I'm saying and use my body to express it as well. Most people talk with their hands, talk with their arms, talk
Right,
with their
right.
body, and I do that same thing when I'm on stage. I'm just being myself. Sometimes people practice the choreography. I just let it flow and it comes out.
So what are you into now?
What am I into?
Like, what do you have going on?
Oh my God. Um, I host a open mic slash performance show every first Friday in Oakland, California. We're at the Allen Bluford Center for Justice on 2434 Telegraph Ave around 8 o'clock. I host that as my MC name, MC Titty Muscle. And yeah, it's my first MC name as a kid, and I kept it. It just really fits with me. I do that. I make my rounds at numerous open mics almost every week, and it's not just a go to go. Like I felt like when I first started, it was like, okay, I want to go out and explore and go as many as I can, and now it's just I'm inspired. I'm inspired to go, and it's just a great time when I go, and I love meeting people. I love having these experiences. I love performing, and so I do. Um, Last month of June, I took a break from performing as often because I've been performing since almost nonstop since June of 2022. And last month, I still performed like 10 times.
Oh wow.
But
I
that
know I'll
was
be
a break for
watching your
me.
Instagram. You stay busy.
Yeah. And so, open mics, hosting. I go to support other people's events. I support other people. I teach poetry at schools in the Bay Area so next generation, we're helping to help them express themselves in more ways than just violence. And yeah, I like to play basketball.
Have you recorded any poetry?
Have I recorded any poetry? I have recorded poetry. Um, when I had my own laptop, I was on Audacity. Shout out to that doll. And I have a friend, a producer, Zach, who sent me some beats. And I had those beat samples. I was looping them, finding different poems to go to them, giving that same vibe. And I have a whole bunch of my own poetry that I made put over loops. I'm planning on making a poetry album. Also, when I started with spoken word and slam and getting into the Oakland community for poetry, I started making poetry in like a duo, and we made a lot of poetry over beats, and it was a great experience.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So, I have one question.
Okay.
What's your favorite open mic? Because I know there's certain vibes when I go to certain open mics, and there's certain places I go and it's like home. Then there's certain places I'd be like, I don't really know anybody here. I don't, like, where do you feel? Oh, how about this?
No,
How about community connection? Where do you feel your strongest community connection, like, as far as open mics?
strongest community connection as far as open mics.
Mm-hmm.
I think that coincides with my favorite. It would have to be a part of the like Gold Beam second Monday, fourth Mondays entire like bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've been going there since like December, and every time I go, the crowd is hype. It's a crowd of our people. I really feel welcome, and it's just a space of positivity. And they really like cultivate that in the food, in the people, in the laughter. I just have a great time, and so I'm usually there every time. It's second Monday this Monday, and I'm still trying to go
Tonight?
Even if I'm not on the list because you gotta get there early. I'm still trying to go because it's just that cool. Also, they only had like one iteration of Poetic Fridays, but it's gonna be like third Friday or second Friday out in Richmond at the Vibe Bistro. Shout out to Junie Speaks. She hosted.
Oh yeah.
And it was amazing. I loved all the people who showed up. All my poet partners, comedian friends. They popped out, and we had a great time. And I'm definitely going back to that.
Yeah, I know. I love, like, for me, I love open mics. That's my thing, because you never know what you're going to get. And I feel like one reason why I always go, because I'm always inspired.
Yes, that's what used to happen at slams for me. I would get inspired and be writing, and I don't want. It's no type of disrespect at all. If I start opening this notebook and start writing, I'm like, y'all inspire me to like,
Right.
I got my juices flowing. I'm ready to get some stuff out here.
Right.
Oof. Yeah. No, for real. Like it's so serious, and I love inspiring people to get on stage. Sometimes they never done it before, so either it's like a first time or just seeing what people are doing. It's just a great experience.
So outside of open mics and like slams, what else inspires you to write? Because I know for me, usually it's just life. Like
That's
life
literally
be
the
life
answer.
and
Life inspires
Yeah.
me. I have a conversation, and
Yeah.
something somebody says or something I say could be like, oh, I like that. I could go
Right.
into a poem, or I could be like, just this experience. Somebody told me about something, and I'll be like, dang, like I never thought about it from that perspective, and that can inspire me to write. It's literally anything. I'm at school teaching kids, and they say something to me, and I'm like, wow, that I just wanna put that out there, and then that gets me on another thing. One of my favorite ways of writing poetry is a stream of consciousness. To allow my mind to have this line and keep going off of that and continuing it is one of my favorite ways to make poetry, to make music. It's how I started as a freestyler, as a kid, MC Titty Muscle. That's when I first started as a freestyler, and it never stopped.
And you also creative with your hair. I saw when you had the different color.
Oh yeah, I had the shit.
Yeah, the
Shout
different
out to
color
the-
shells and stuff. I
Ooh.
was like,
The ill nine. My sister, she's amazing. My hairstylist. I got a actual stylist, Benny Goods, Christina Benny. I have a lot of people who help to support me, and I help to support them too. So, yeah,
okay, so you got a whole like community.
whole community.
And that's what's dope about being on the poetry scene. I swear, it's like I love being a poet. Like people be like, because you know when I do music or whatever, they be like, "You're a rapper." I'm like, I'm not a rapper.
On me, I could rap, but I'm not a rapper.
No, I'm not a rapper. I could rap, but I'm not a rapper.
Exactly, I can rap, but I'm not a rapper.
So you do have some music that's in the studio.
I do have some music in the studio. You want to hear one?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
Drop
check it out.
something.
Check it out. All Had Choices came out 2021. Made that with Young Briage, the Ill Nye, at my sister's home studio. I got this song, Bay Shit. It is the second song on the EP. We just gonna listen to it. Let's get it.
Let me tell you when I say I love rapping where I stay. Man, I'm from the
Damn, Tom, you went crazy on this one.
A Keisha, he for surely did, so I'ma keep it lit. Was riding this in her skirt right across the street. I was outside in 2020. What's a quarantine? Kicking back with a certified gangster lean. Make your head bounce when you let me do my thing. I get wicked when we kick it. The feeling's right, you know. Side of sight, we taking off tonight. Closest thing to a star when we ride. The bucket sitting low, but trust we be getting high. Up there, nowhere to go, but fuck it, we outside. Over there, Oakland, the East, man. This is my pride, and I shall devour any issues that may arise. I'll tap 2 times in, poof, not here, goodbye. I don't know how we do it. Aloof, you shouldn't shy. Around here, we make the clowns here change their mind. And you can't take too much of the smoke stalling. We rolling down windows, we tryna baseball it. We tryna pass it, you in a backseat coughing. Good lord, my heart, I think we lost. We don't just go up, we get down. I've been chillin' in LA, but I'm back in the town. Let me tell you when I say I love reppin' where I stay, huh? Man, I'm from the town. Okay. We don't just go up, we get down. I've been chillin' in LA, but you know when I'm around. Let me tell you when I say I love reppin' where I stay, huh? Bitch, I'm from the Bay. Let me tell you how we rockin', this not Nat Geo, dude. Learn this shit in the street, we ain't just read it in school. All this money to be made, what's a life if you don't shine? I've been proud to take off since the tender age of 5. That's on my mama, she raised him to be like this. She did it on her own, you act, she on these shit. And I swear we grew up too fast, it don't seem legit. Like when you leave the house too fast, the fit ain't a fit. And you thinking you ready, but you don't know what's in store. Hunger paying, say preaching, hand you a plate, you said more. Took a few rips, sat back and reminisce days past. The remnants of past days popping up on Mac Blast. The highs, the lows, remember when it gets bad, that there'll be better days. So we stay on track, and when you reach it, remember who told you. It's pure gangster, baby, use your mind to be a soldier. Hey, I'm trying to keep my composure, but you fucking up. Don't know about me, bitch, you must not know enough. Bitch, you must not know what's up. There's nothing to it but to do it, moms told me that. Pen in my hand, writing history, making dreams a fact.
Yes. Making dreams a fact. Shout out to my man Dom. He made the beat.
That was a
She was
tight
on the beat.
Yeah, that was tight. I like how it ended, making dreams a fact.
Yeah.
And I think I meant you doing that really in real life though. Like,
No, I'm really living what I speak.
right,
And like I feel like it's because I'm able to speak it is why I'm able to live it like I do.
right.
Shout out! Oh my God, I don't want to shout everybody out.
Man, shout them out.
On me, copper on my flesh. You already know. God, brother, peace. Who we at the Verbal Apothecary? I should be there on August 1st. That's an open mic
Where's it at?
in Oakland, California. It's at what is it? It's a new place.
Mhm.
It's called Acoma.
Hmm.
It's a mushroom bar.
A what?
Mushroom bar. So that's lounge. So like they serve mushrooms. They have alcohol as well, but you know like they
Like real mushrooms? Like,
Like
mushroom-
psychedelic
psychedelic.
mushrooms?
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yes, on Telegraph.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never been to a mushroom bar.
So, if you don't know people outside of the Bay Area, Oakland is or Alameda County is one of the only counties that you can purchase psychedelic mushrooms. Now in LA, you can also do that.
Oh,
Hey, shout out to the LA. There's diversify. Get into the groove of things.
That's right. Remember, you can always start off with a little. You can always add to your trip. You can't take it away.
Yeah.
say no to drugs, kids.
See, and everybody's got an opinion that's valid.
Right, exactly, and I'm all for that. Like I believe in diversity of life and diversity of opinion, lifestyle, things like that. I don't try to yuck nobody's yum.
Exactly.
I am petrified to take a damn mushroom, but I've read a lot about it.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Somebody the other day asked me if I was a mushroom, what kind of mushroom would I be?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Blue
Being
dream.
a comedian, right? Being a comedian, I think it would be a psilocybin. Psilocybin? Okay, that's horrible.
It's,
I don't
it's
get it.
because you don't
No.
really take mushrooms, but all mushrooms, well, the psychedelics have psilocybin, and that's the main like active ingredient to get your brain like on that level.
And that'd be a silly
psilocybin. Okay, no, that's a good
or
one.
since I'm up there on stage all the time, shit talky. Because I'm
That's
a
good.
shit
I know.
talker. Yeah, thank you.
I know.
You like,
shit-talking
I save the
mushrooms.
best for last.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I totally wouldn't get nothing about mushrooms. I'd be like, so yeah, that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
What else?
What else? What am I doing?
You got a lot of stuff because what I'm saying is that every time I see you, you just like running around, you're performing. I'm following other people and I'll see you on their pages and you be all on their lives and I'll be like, you're a dope performer. We've performed together, I think maybe twice at the Lynn House up in Antioch.
Yeah, definitely there.
Yeah.
And then we
Shout out to
performed at Henry's
Antioch.
too, so that's two.
For real.
Yeah, that's a Jose.
Yeah, Jose.
Cordon.
Hey, he's hella dope.
Antioch poet laureate. Poet laureate.
Yeah, he's gonna be here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He dope too.
Okay. Yeah.
His open mics are.
I know. I've been
I
wanting to
love
hit
his
that for
open
a
mics.
second. I was about to go last week. I had some stuff happen, but I'm going to the next one.
I'll be
If I can
there.
make it there, I'm getting there.
And two, I'm gonna share it on the community calendar so other
Okay.
people will come. You know,
Perfect.
that thing be cracking too.
I
love
know. You got to get there.
that. Yeah.
Do each and every one of these shows have a different feel that you guys go to?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Feel? Oh yes. Every show is different. Like every poem is different.
Right. And that's what I figured. I figured between the environment in which you're in, like if it's a beautiful place, like, so I've said it a million times, I'm a stand-up comedian. So I could be anywhere from a dirty, dusty, dark little bar to a really beautiful, well-lit, great vibe. And you never know what you're going to get. And then a lot of the time, our audience doesn't know we even exist. They didn't know that we were going to come in and do a show until it was
So
happening.
it was there, and it was like, oh, look, I just stumbled into here, and I just found out they was doing this.
Yeah, I thought I was just coming in to have a drink and then go home or something. And it's like, no, we're going to invade your privacy a little bit. And so how does it differ with you guys? Is the vibe curated? In other words, do they put on, like, does each producer do a different, like, do they do a good job? And do they...
Yeah, everybody's different. Some people are able to like kind of advertise the space to where like people know that this is what's happening on this day and everybody's coming in. Maybe this person is coming here. They have a big following and people pay attention. And sometimes, you know, you go there and people are like, oh, I didn't know this was happening, but I walked in and I was excited to see this. I'm like, oh, poetry, I haven't seen that in a long time. Let me hear what's going on.
So no matter what, sometimes it's a surprise, but producers are good on both sides of the fence. If it's a music producer, if it's a poetry producer, if it's a comedy producer, depends on how well they do on getting the word out there, right?
Correct.
But you guys are welcomed
It's
for the most part.
So yes, I think it's the producer of the show to get people out. It's also, I think they split that along with you, the artist to be able to bring your people. Yeah, bring your people or get some people out as well, so that you're like, at least if nothing else, you have your people who are there. And yeah,
between the draw of the producer, the draw of each performer, and the draw of, let's say, the venue, hopefully you guys are able to build enough synergy and enough, what do they call it, butts and seats,
yes,
to get what you need.
See, but you're a host also. So there's a difference when you're a host and you're coordinating the whole thing.
And you're doing a lot of heavy lifting.
And you...
Yes, especially as a host. Like, as a host, you have to... Oof.
You have to work on the fly. You have to
Flyers.
be able to willing to adjust. People don't show up. Some people call in sick.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what do you mean I can't find the venue? I'm looking for parking now.
And then it's like...
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
You might have to perform now.
Yeah.
Right.
Now I
host.
gotta suck up another 5 minutes to keep these guys going because you were my opener.
Exactly.
So.
And you just got to keep it live, making sure that you're getting people who want to go, people who can go, people who are not going to flake on you.
Right.
You got to have the credibility of the artist, and it travels around the community very quick. People know certain shops, certain shows that are not cool, certain places that you may not want to perform because you may not get paid.
Yeah, that's not a good rep to have. Either not paying people, not running a good show, or having a bad audience.
Yeah.
Any of those combination of things is like the kiss of death.
I hear it's like the audience. I'm gonna say it's no such thing as a bad audience,
Right.
Unless it's like just nobody there. But if you got people, you gotta get it popping.
I think some of the most powerful experiences I've had was with smaller audiences to where me and the other artists start interacting, and we started like vibing. Like there's a video out there like somewhere where it's like me and I just met Arya the vocalist, and we all was performers, and we all, I mean, it was just like this beautiful cipher where people singing, rapping. I mean, it just was crazy, and it was just like, so therefore I like stuff like that. So long as there's a good outcome for me,
Yeah.
like if I met like a really good friend there, like, oh my god, like this person became my friend, and we start, doing other things together. Like when I'm able to take that experience off of that stage and make something else, like this
Like
is
it translates somewhere else.
right.
Yes.
So like we met at
Epitomes.
Epitomes. Now we're here in San Francisco at the studio, and now we're gonna be over.
Next thing
at,
you know, we're going to be cutting an album.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
boom,
Exactly.
and then
Already how it
too,
goes.
that's how it
Oh,
goes.
I'm a teenage girl. I got a vision board in my bedroom right now.
That's what's up.
Says
And like
I'm a-
you never know, like connections are so strong. I was telling somebody, was asking what was your favorite day be like, and I'm like, I'm just describing so much. It was on a Sunday where they asked Saturday when they asked me, and I was like, well, I would have got up kind of like early at 8:50 from having such a field night hosting, and they're like it's doing so much. Like having a great job, a great show when you're hosting feels amazing,
It does.
and making the connections with people is part of making that feel so good. And I'm meeting people who haven't expressed their creative side out to other people, to crowds before, getting them more comfortable with that. I'm able to be myself, and I'm usually myself, and sometimes myself it feels like anxious or wants to like be by myself. And so being myself and being able to change that like anxiousness into being like, comforting and being in this space is very powerful, and I enjoy that so much.
And you can tell because even the performance I watched earlier, the little snippet we're gonna play later, that's why I had mentioned, oh, do you have any
Comedian, like
any time or any experience doing comedy? And so a lot of that translates. A lot of it is just open communication, being able to read an audience, being able to bridge a gap. Sometimes like you might have a performer that doesn't do that great, and you need to reset the room back to a zero at least, so the next performer doesn't come up to a hole that they have to dig themselves out of. As the host of a show, you control the whole vibe of it. So if you have a really good set in the beginning, you're able to hand it off to the first performer and go, here's a hot mic, take care of it. And so if you have that flow going throughout the show, you should be able to control it. Oh, that performer just smashed it. I'm not going to sit up here and take some time. I'm literally just going to get right into the next act.
Exactly.
I'm not going to disturb the flow. I'm just going to keep going. Oh, that one just really, sucked. Now I got to do something.
I gotta bring it back.
Got to bring it back to at least this next person going, oh, man. And so I'll tell you, there's a lot of times where I'm waiting in the wings to go up, and somebody right before me dies, and I'm like, oh, okay. So one way you can get them back on your side is going, wow, that really kind of sucked. But that really kind of leaves your last performer
Yeah, I would never.
even worse.
I wouldn't say
Right.
that.
Well, no, that's worse. So if you're a comedian, it's I won't say it's okay, but you still shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, you definitely don't want to do that to a poet or a musician.
You can't do that to a poet or musician because you got to think weird. It's like
You might
inner
be you
workers.
going-
You're like more. I feel like as a poet, we're like inner workers. So therefore, you might have a poem that touched somebody's soul. But what I'm saying with y'all comedians, y'all looking for more engagement with the crowd. Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
Laughing and you're like, ooh, that person sucks. So the codependency on the crowd
Yeah.
sometimes.
I
Or
get you,
not even
but
saying
poets
they
feel
suck, but
codependency
at
as
least-
well. And I feel you though. Poets feel codependency as well. So while they you expect a more outer response from a comedian, poets get outer responses too. And in places like slam, you could definitely tell.
Right.
And this is
right.
like, I wouldn't say everybody is the best, but everybody is not always the best.
And
And
you're
so
not a great sportsman all the time because it's really an individual sport no matter what you're doing. If you're holding the mic and you're up there by yourself, most of the time you're an individual. And so you're right. Even as a comedian, it's not good to go, hey, that last guy really sucked. Right. But it is kind of good to not just glaze over it either. You have to acknowledge that just happened. But you don't want to slam your other performer too at the same time.
Just light, like, oh, just talk about it. Okay, boom, it's over.
Yeah,
Next
it's
thing.
kind of like, oh yeah, I see. Where
We all
he's
do
coming
this,
from.
you know.
Now
We
move
made
on.
that, yeah.
And so it's kind of like, okay, I'm not a robot. I'm not ignore that just happened.
Right.
But the slam and this poetry is not me slamming you.
See, but then I feel like that's the reason why, as an open mic artist, like as somebody that did poetry and just as a singular poet at different events, it was a difference coming into a slam environment, because it was like I wasn't used to competing with. I wasn't looking at poets like, oh yeah, we're about to have it out. Like, so I had to switch. I feel like the slam poet, I wasn't really. I had a mind for slam poetry when I got
and
into
slam,
it.
well,
You get what I'm saying?
And isn't slam, and correct me, isn't that more like what I've seen in this is the 58-year-old middle-aged white guy coming at you, but isn't that more like the Eminem in 8 Mile up on the stage and they're kind of rapping back and forth, but it's poetry? Isn't it
I mean,
kind
rap-
of, isn't it head to head?
Rap is
No,
poetry, but it's not head
It's
to
just
head.
you go up and
They-
do your thing and you only have so
They
much
do
time
have
to do it.
certain like underground slams in certain places, like regional events, in which it is a head-to-head situation. But
So
slam,
what's the rules of a poetry slam? I guess?
rules of a poetry slam, the judges, well, it doesn't really play out how the rules are supposed to, but the judges are supposed to grade a poem anywhere from 0.0 to 10.0, using decimal points, of course. And you have a calibration poet, which is a sacrificial poet, which is a poet that goes first before everybody, and the judges are supposed to base the other
That's
poets.
your reference point.
That's reference point. Base the other poets based off of the calibration poet. What usually happens is judges base the poets off of the poets who went before them. So if you have somebody who did an amazing job talking about something that you all were about to talk about, and you go up and you don't do as well, or you feel like you're not doing as well, then they're gonna base you off of the person who just went, and so your score is gonna probably be lower. But if you had somebody who just bombed, and now you do something and it was amazing, that's gonna be that much higher.
Okay.
And then too, after that, then there's a second round. So then you get
Yes, top 5 usually
Well,
go
okay,
up
so
to the next.
that's where it becomes competitive versus an individual sport. And I think that's what happens sometimes with comedians. Well, I don't want to get into comedians, but if you're just going up and saying your poetry at an event,
right.
everybody's supporting you.
Right, that's what I'm. Right.
And even if they don't believe with whatever you're slinging, they're still kind of going, "Oh, she did good," or "He
Yeah.
did good."
Right,
Yeah,
right,
what
right,
you
right.
know. But in a slam, you're almost picking the best. Oh, he just did better than she did, or
But it's different
Not
because
a part-
everyone has a different feeling. It has a different audience. It has a different.
Yes.
So you don't know. Let's say, for example, you don't know what type of territory you're going into until you get there. Let's say it could be like. I remember one time I went to this one slam and I didn't participate, but it was just like it was one topic and somebody went completely off that topic. So they were scored low because they wasn't with the vibe. So therefore there's other
they
factors
could have had good
too.
flow. They could have had good lyrics. They could have been spitting it, but it was totally off whatever they were supposed to be on. So
Exactly.
that way they scored lower.
So it's hella different dynamics when it comes to slam. But I wasn't like, I've been to like Women of the World with the National Poetry.
Yeah.
We had a nonprofit and we were the swag slam. But I'm just coming into it, so it was really interesting being an open mic artist. I was not with it, but you have the bravado and everything else like that for, you know what I'm saying, slam poetry. I could see you being good at that. You should like totally compete.
Oh, I have. I was my first year, 2023 was my first like actual year being in season. I made the Berkeley Poetry Slam team, and thank you. We went out to regionals in Oregon, and we won 3rd place
That's
at
what's
Bigfoot.
up.
It was my first time ever experiencing something like that, and I had an amazing experience. We should talk about that, but
You
before
should
that,
talk about
before I talk about that, let's play this that video.
All right.
Yeah, so I performed at Ruckus and Rumpus out in Oakland. I think second Thursdays, and I was actually referred to by Berkeley Poetry Slam people, and it's amazing. So check this video out. It's from one of my poems titled Late Nights.
I've seen you step on stage, melt the whole crowd's heart away. After the hardest days, astonishment won't show half the praise. Dancer, romancer. As a reindeer, you'd be Rudolph. Ahead of the pack. That giant light you have takes me aback. Whew! To them Netflix and chill days. To that Hulu and holla. No, don't crack the door, close it, so we don't get bothered. And then they bust in, rushing, like, what you doing? On them late nights and grand risings, you love to get it on. You love to watch how I do it, yet this is still your show. I'm eating you effectively, intellectually, intellectually.
Yeah.
Wait. You
So
gotta
that
do
pause
again.
right at the right place, right?
That was so funny because that was hilarious. That was a dope poem. But yeah, so you could totally see your slam nature. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could totally see it. So that was at a slam, you said?
That was at a
Oh, place that they suggested you to.
Yes, they suggested me, but that was at an event, so just like just a show. It wasn't even like an open mic or anything. They had booked me, and it was just like boom. I was like, okay, great experience.
Yeah, you look like you had a ball up there.
Oh, I did.
And you
Like
could
a
tell by
muscle.
the crowd that they were, like you were saying, Paul, like they were interactive.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love that. As a performance artist, we love the crowd. And a live performance, we are live, you are live. The energy that we give you is where you give us, so we're able to circulate that. So if you're not giving us energy, you won't feel it.
Oh my goodness. I have a question. Well, I have a statement.
Okay.
I remember one time it was downtown Oakland somewhere, and I had said I had this dope rap or whatever. It didn't have no rhythm, so I'm like, forget it, it's a poem anyway. Who cares? And I was like, do anybody want to come out the crowd and sit here? So I had some guy came down, and we had did this whole thing. He sat there and I spit my stuff, and it was hilarious. And like years later, I had people like, "Hey, I remember you." Do you ever have people like in the streets when you walk in and stuff like that? They be like, "Hey, I seen you at this place." Like,
Yeah.
"Hey, you, I know you."
I be everywhere, and they be like, "Hey, I feel like I seen you before." And I was like, "Oh, for where?" It's like at one of these open mics. I'll be like, "Oh, was it this?" They were like, "No." Was it this? They were like, "No." And I'd be like, "Was it this one?" They be like, "Yes,
Yeah,
I remember that." And I'd be like, "Oh wow, like I'm really being recognized for like what I do."
Right.
And this is so fun. This is really fun, and I love having people who, especially creatives, who see me and they're like, "Oh yeah, like I started doing this after seeing you go out so much." And I'm just like, "Oh yes, like we're inspiring each other, because seeing y'all do what you do inspires me, and vice versa."
That's hella dope.
And then, I was just going to say, because I skipped over Bigfoot, but Bigfoot was an experience. Bigfoot was the regional poetry slam. Yes, my first year doing poetry slams and just being in the slam circuit was a dream, to say the least. I don't know many people who like start off in their first year, make a team, and like actually win. And things.
Right.
So
Right. Did you do you have any? I remember they used to have the literature, like the little newsletters while you guys was out there and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, do you still have yours, or do you remember
Ooh.
anything from it?
I don't have the literature. I don't,
Oh,
but
man,
I
they
have.
had a tight news, like a little newspaper that they would put out. Did you go to any of the workshops?
Yeah, I went to workshops.
Yeah.
Definitely.
People don't know. It's like, because I did, like the traveling with the slams and stuff like that. It is so dope. I feel like it introduces you to a whole another world of poetry, especially you going to the nationals.
Yeah.
Your first time, like, that's amazing.
I think nationals was closed. It was regionals, because
Oh, it's
nationals, yeah,
regionals,
because
okay.
nationals, they got closed during COVID. I think it was. They had some issues, but I'm waiting for somebody to open it back up, because I'm trying to be there.
So that's what you want to get back into, is doing slam poetry.
Well, I'm still doing slam poetry.
Okay. So they are open back up, but
Oh yeah, so the National Poetry Slam is closed right now, but slam places in like their local cities
okay,
and
okay,
regionals
they
are
still
open.
have. Okay,
Yes.
so open. Yeah, I've had dreams of getting back into that.
See, because it's fun.
It is fun.
I want to travel. I want to meet some people. I met some cool poets out in Oregon. I'm trying to go back. Like, yeah. I'm definitely going back. I'm going to Arizona. I'm going to try and do some open mics out there.
Right.
I'm just open mics in Hawaii. Like,
And then with them slams, you could definitely get there very easily.
Yes.
So yeah, and keep us updated. Like if you traveling and stuff like that, send us the videos. Like, hey, what's up, Ghetto Boy from Hawaii?
Okay.
We're about to do this slam and
Good.
record your video. You know, we could play it on the show and stuff like that.
Okay, I'll definitely do that.
Is there anything else you want to talk about with the slam competition? Because I don't think, did you go to any of the poetry parties?
I didn't go to many of the poetry parties. When I went out there, I had Little Big Burger. Oh my god, it's a food restaurant, but they had this Marionberry habanero jam, my favorite jam. I remember it was the day of this competition, and I'm like, oh, they got this jam on this burger, and I wasn't ordering a burger, but I wanted the jam, so I got a different one, and they was like, oh, I can't give you that. I was like, I'm ordering something. I got a burger. Like, why can't I have that? And then they were like, oh, yeah, we just can't do it. And I was like, dang, seem a little racist to me. I don't know. This is crazy. And I feel like we be making jokes and stuff that's not jokes. And when I say racist, it definitely wasn't racist. But I was just like, dang, like, what the heck? And then the whole team was looking at me like, you just call it racist over this? And I'm like, nah. And then 2 seconds later, they're like, actually, we got some jam for you. And I'm like, oh. Crazy where it appeared from. I got that jam, and that jam was amazing. Before I left on the flight back, I got some more jam. It was so good. Marionberry habanero jam.
Where do you get it from?
Little Big Burger in Oregon.
And that's it?
That's what I know of.
So Marionberry's like tart sweet, and then habanero's hot.
Hot, yeah.
So you throw those three together.
Too good.
Yeah, I'm with that. That sounds like something that would be at Trader Joe's.
It sounds like something. I want to make.
Yes, I wanted my man Colin to make it. He said he was gonna make it. He ain't never make it, but shout out to Colin at the Berkeley Poetry Slam.
I like.
All right, look at the mic like, hey.
Like me some Marionberry.
Yes.
So I know you got some more music for us too, PG.
Yes. Would you like to hear one?
I'd love to hear one. What you got for us?
Okay. Since we on the music, I have a song that I just made not too long ago. Very inspired, very much using my intuition to see what these beats are telling me. And I'm thinking about, putting it out there to have some people hop on this. So this is Aura.
Feeling great. How much can you take? Watch what's on your plate, baby. I said life looking good, moments feeling great. How much can you take? Watch what's on your plate, baby. Been through a lot of situations to make it this far. Me, no complaints, you see where we are. You know, Papi I scar when I pull up. Rolling with the ancestors, always got the hook up. Ayy, I can't say why it is this way. Everything that I do is so grande. I've been trapping through December, spit fires, tried and true. Hieroglyphics in my head, the purpose. Who are you? I see divinity. Energetically, the remedies and authenticity. Intuition's the mission. You got it, Hood. Yeah, you gotta take pauses to profit. Yay. Life might tell you to stop it, but we gon' get it poppin'. Papi got new places to see. People to me can't be out here wasting loyalty. Nah, get into it with me. I'm tryna show you everything I seen, and I'ma let you know. Life looking good, moments feeling great. How much can you take? Watch what's on your plate, baby. Hey, I said life looking good, moments feeling great. How much can you take? Watch what's on your plate, baby. That's why you see life working out for you. I know you gotta like the Huxtables. Moving on up, I've been tapped in a long time trying to get up. Like the X button on PS2, still got him stuck. So sit back, relax, Papi's going up. He do that thing with his, ooh, I'm in love with the words and the curve. Storytelling, he take it there. Mad talented with work ethic, this shit ain't fair. Damn, I really get into it. I get into it, how you moving, what you doing. Hey, you know you gotta bring it back, cause you know that I relapse on you. Baby, my boo thing. I wanna spend some time, baby. Nah, you keep blowing my line, baby. Hey, I'm tryna let you know that I do, not just wait for one day. That's why I say, hey, life looking good, moments feeling great. How much can you take? Watch what's on your plate, baby.
your plate, baby.
That was definitely a vibe. It's, and like I said, like your music is like a vibe. Like I really, really, really like it. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I do. And it translates well from your poetry. Like I know
Yeah.
you as a poet and I've seen you as a poet. So to hear your music also, because I make sure what I want to do is have an organic reaction. So this is my first time hearing it,
Okay.
even though you sent it to me earlier.
Yes.
So therefore it was a good experience. Like, thank you for
I like that.
sharing it.
Of course. Ooh, I love being able to just put out myself, my identity, and what I'm doing, and just have it be received. So it's cool. Yeah.
Is there anything you really want to talk about? Because I feel like a lot of the time, artists in general, especially when they're being interviewed, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have no barrage of questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you want the listeners to know about you, about your art, where to find you, how to, because, like another thing, like how to book you. Just,
Okay. I
how about the first question is, what do you want people to know about you? Like, I feel like we're always being asked questions, but we don't get to ask our own questions and answer our own questions.
Okay. I think the journey and the process and what you learn is very important. And so one thing that I want to talk about is the process of how it is being a multidisciplinary artist in Oakland. Like, Oakland has so much talent and so much community, and it can get hard for people because people like to compare themselves to other people. And being in Oakland, doing what I do and being everywhere, I've learned how important it is to like self-regulate. Being able to be around all this greatness and not compare myself to people is a very strong idea, and it helps in poetry slams. It helps in everyday life because comparison is the thief of joy. If you start to compare yourself for everything, it's just, you're like, you never end up either being not enough or end up comparing yourself to people you shouldn't compare yourself to. You should only compare yourself to yourself, honestly, and that's what I do. And so while I'm on stage at a slam, I'm really not comparing myself to other people, but just to how I can do to my best self. Earlier in around pandemic times, I learned how to shut off my brain, meaning not overthink about things. And that is something that is playing a role in this way of self-regulation and not comparing myself. If I don't need to compare myself to anything to achieve something, then I won't compare myself, because sometimes you need to be like, oh, I like how you do this, as I like how this poet does this, and I think I want to incorporate that. That's a comparison, but I know that it's to improve. I'm not comparing myself for no reason.
Right. It's more of an inspiration.
Exactly,
a
because
comparison.
yes, definitely inspiration. I get inspired with so many people.
Right.
Yeah. Two things. When it comes to music, one thing that I've been looking for is a great engineer, somebody who I can go into and just help to get this flow of music out, because I'm so creative. I get inspired all the time, and so I work to be able to work better.
But the thing is about engineering that I felt and that I've experienced is that I have to have a vibe with the person. Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, I hear
it could
you.
be
My
a
friends said
great
the same
engineer,
thing.
but it's like they wasn't a great engineer to
For
me.
you.
Like maybe we didn't communicate the same way. You know what I'm saying? Or they didn't see my vision, or
No, definitely, and I want to experience it. I gotta experience these engineers to know. So I'm just looking for that.
and I think that you should probably just like reach out to certain people, like, hey, how about we come and vibe? Like maybe
yeah.
even do 15, 30-minute sessions. I'll be like, hey, look, I'm looking for an engineer, and just reach out. Hey, engineers, get at Papi Guapo. He looking for an engineer. You feel me?
Ugh. Ha. I really am.
No,
I'm
for
so
real.
close to getting that camera changed.
Oh, let me say it again. Hey, engineers, get at Papi Grande. He's looking for an engineer.
Thank you.
Yes.
I feel
And then-
completed now.
And I keep calling you
Guapo,
Papi Guapo.
it's all good.
That's a dope name, though,
Yeah, I like
Papi
that too.
Guapo.
And then when it comes to poetry, I'm making I have a manuscript in the works for my second poetry book. I have a
Dope.
chapbook out but I'm making my second poetry
You
book.
got a chapbook and you ain't mentioned it until now.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Ooh, it's called Explaining a Love.
Okay.
A lot of my poems coincide into each other, just like a lot of my art expressions do, and so it's Explaining a Love. And
Where do you find it?
it's upon if you ask me for it, then we can get it. If you ask me for it, then we can get it popping, like always. I make it personally for you, and so I have the poem. I have the poems ready. I'm ready to make them for you.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm making a second one, and something that I want and I actually would love help with is the formatting. Formatting poems and poetry is wow. And so when you switch it, when you got to format it and you switch it to something else, it starts jumbling stuff up. So somebody who is well versed with that, come talk to me.
It's like a poetry editor kind of thing.
Yeah, like a formatter.
I
I'm not
don't
gonna
know.
edit because I don't edit my words, but like help me format it. That's one way to get to give you something else.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I hate when you do that because I'm like, yes. I always think it's my posture, but I'm not tripping. But
No, you're fine.
Okay, good. So I mean, we got like 10 more minutes. You feel me? So it's
Okay.
like, it's like, how do you want to leave this show? I mean, because the whole thing is you got a whole book with you.
Oh,
so
yes.
do you want to do like a live poem?
Oh, I would love to do a live poem.
Because I feel like I mean the music good, but your energy and everything else is like,
I got you. This is a poem that I wrote for a friend and a sister. It goes like this. Out of respect, I won't use her name. I will never forget it. There are reasons I drop everything to pick my sister up so she won't be on public transportation. There are reasons the women in my life want me to be aware whenever I leave home. These niggas are vile, all mixed up. Commit heinous crimes, walk away like nothing happened. It's evil. What's worse is having to be hyper vigilant, uncertain of who it could be. If it could be next. That's when police sirens begin to sound like catcalling from across the street. The low-pitched ringing in your left ear paired with a hoodie and shades staring across the BART train prepared to take your exit. Viewed a lowly pawn in their game. We notice advances stop when you're with me. Around men, they keep it PG. A lack of parental guidance and personal growth. If you ask why I can't stand these creeps, I'll make sure I'm here for you. With genuine love, a call to action is awareness of the situation. My love won't wait for you to speak your need, rephrase as a want. Utter, you're headed to the store, and we are walking, even if it is just down the street. How can this ever be community if everyone around is acting as if they don't see black women? The problems here as pressing as global warming, and it burns me up inside. Each experience that makes you colder makes the day colder, dry, brittle. So I wonder, what has this world come to without you? The days are shorter. And the boys who want to be men's tempers are too. Whether in a badge or posted at the gas station, nowadays you don't have to say much. A picture is worth 1,000 words. As fingerprinted fantasies drawn like your uninterest as disrespect, his signature, you've already said too much. Shown too much. He says she deserves it. Says, look at what she's wearing, declaring silence as acceptance. Rejects a conscience, expects leniency for stress induced. Except my loved ones don't always make it home past the streetlights. And they not like us. We stressed out. You haven't experienced loss of breath, panic attack from late night phone calls followed by a voice asking, are you a family member of... Did you forget we have names too? When night breaks and the agents of the streets, agents of the lights, excuse me, but they are two sides of one coin. Adjust their sights in our direction. Black people become better targets. Heathens see less witnesses around. See all of us barely 3/5 of a person. So I believe not knowing the name of the victim who ran into you is punishable by death. After all, that is what we face if you stop when Ayo Shardy turn around and see what you turning down calls you, or if I comply after doing nothing wrong except for being black and their sirens become the last melody I ever hear. Our loved ones may never hear us again. And don't forget our names. It'll be like we're still here with you. Yes, we miss you too.
Oh wow. That was,
Powerful.
damn, I wish you'd have did that when you first walked in. I mean, it was so much to unpack after that. Wow. That was really, I feel you.
Yeah.
For real.
Always
To me.
want that, leave them wanting more.
Right.
So now I want another hour with you.
Right,
Like
right.
you
I'm
said,
like, so let's just start this whole thing
Yeah,
all
let's
over again.
unpack that.
Right. That
Okay,
is
so segment 2, we do a deep
Right.
dive into that one.
It's really too many experiences of the women in my life having to go through the same situations. I'm on the phone with them. I do not have a mind, not ever mind being on the phone, but being on the phone and just experiencing what they are going through.
Right.
The time is just it's absurd, and I had to talk about it.
and I think it needs to be talked about more often because as a black woman, I felt you. Because I feel like often our voices are silenced and they need to be risen by black men that's observing exactly what we're saying is happening, you know?
Yes.
So thank you. I
Of course.
appreciate that for real. So list your socials for people to be able to keep in contact with you for those producers and all the wonderful slams and things he's
Yes.
trying to get to.
Yes,
He's going to go
yes.
to actually.
Like I said, August 1st, I'm going to be at the Verbal Apothecary in Oakland at Acoma. I believe on the 27th, August 27th, July 27th, I'm going to be at Jay Rice's Beast Crawl Festival event. It's going to be on my Instagram where you can find me at Papi Grande. The I is a 1, the E is a 3 because 13 is my favorite number. Look below. That's PAP1GRAND 3. I am also going to be I'm on SoundCloud. If you ever want to find me at MC Titty Muscle. I be dropping some bombs, some like secretive things on there sometimes.
I wish I had a camera on that side.
I also am on Spotify, Apple Music, Papi Grande. If you search up I Am and Papi Grande, you should find me on YouTube. And if you search up All Had Choices, Papi Grande, you should find me on any music, what's it called? Everything.
But that's weird because I looked up I am Papi Grande on Google and it said no you're not. And I said, what?
Yeah, so you mean it was like, oh, yeah, that's Papi Grande.
Yeah, that ain't me. And that ain't looking in the mirror, baby.
Yeah, but before we end everything, what I say? Cash App is TAKAWILL 13. Email if you want to find me can be found on my Instagram or you can hit me on Instagram. But I do want y'all to play that last poem. It's called Talk You Through It. TYTI as we're going out. Thank y'all for listening. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I had a great time. I'm
That's
trying to
what's
come
up.
back.
Oh, no, you're coming
Yes.
back.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right. So, anything you want to say about this other than you want to?
It like I said, all my poems are intertwining. I have a poem called My Target Part 1, and then I put this in the middle of that, talk you through it, and then My Target Part 2. And so you listen to the middle.
All right.
That's dope.
Our conversations are like meditation, but let's let our inner voices speak. I would say you make me weak, but then I would be lying. You make me strong, long before I ever see you. I need a preview, a review. I want to be sure that I can please you. Please you do something to me. You can do some things to me. Sounds like I'm in love, they say. Can you see it in my eyes? Is it a surprise? Can you surprise me? She said, sir, you're a prize to me. A gift. She really opens me up. And I hear, I see her excitement. When I leave out of the comforts of my mind, I know my soul is what she loves to find. So I read, I write to find the right words to express to you. I study to build my aptitude. Research and love, I want my BA in you, your major, my master's too. See, we believe in astrology. Looking towards the sky, she doesn't know whether that's my little dipper or with this little light of mine that rests inside going to shine. See, our conversations are more than meditation. I had to let you know.
Peace.
Damn shit done changed. Okay, I'm in the Bay.